Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Breaking the Silence. You have a voice. I am your host, Lady V, and I am just so excited about this topic today because I believe that we should all be living our best life. So, we want to welcome all of our viewers on the show and welcome all of our Caribbean jammers, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everybody out there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But before we start the show, I want to introduce you to my other host. We have the most beautiful Dr. Yvonne Bennett. How you doing today, Dr. Bennett?
I'm doing well. I've been very, very busy, but I'm doing well. And it's just a blessing to be on the show. I love it.
You know what I realized, y'all, about Dr. Bennett? She need to take whatever's making her not age and put it in a bottle and put it
Yes,
on the shelf,
I know.
so
yes.
that we can everybody can have a part of it. Because I'm telling you, every time I see her, she looks like she's getting younger and younger. So maybe you want to, like, I don't know if you can scrape something from somewhere and make some potion and stick it in a bottle and sell it. But I'm sure that we can make some millions. I'm gonna talk to you about that when we get off the show.
Yeah, I went to breakfast yesterday morning at Olga's, and the lady said to me behind the counter, she said, "Lady, how often do you work out?" I said, "Lady, I don't work nothing out."
Uh,
Right, right, right. And we also have uh Dr. Isaac. How you doing there? What's going on with you? I see you in your card. I heard you doing some bowling. I didn't even know you bowl. I know you for all these years. I ain't never know you to be a bowler.
Yes, I'm a true sportsman. I bowl, softball, baseball, tennis, golf. Uh, I'm a true
Wow,
sportsman. So yeah.
that's
But
good.
I'm doing
I,
well.
You an athlete. You an
hey,
athlete.
don't brag too much on that bowling because I already told them you do ministry better than you do bowling.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but okay, I'm
Oh
glad.
wow, really? You gonna bust me out like that? But anyway, I had a great weekend. Savannah and I went to the drag races. It was hot. Look, if hell is that hot, I do not want to be there. But it was hot. But and then on Sunday, I actually brought the word on Sunday. So
All right, all right. Wow, that was good. What was the topic?
spiritual advice.
All
mm.
right,
Hmm.
all
Okay.
right. We can all use that. So that's what's up.
Now
That's
you
what's
gotta now
up.
you gotta ask Savannah how I did because I don't know how I did.
Well, I can go on YouTube too, and I know a few good folks, so I can check it out myself. Okay, how you doing there, Savada?
Hey, sweetheart, I am doing great today. You look beautiful as always.
Thank you. Listen, it's hot out there. I just came in. I had about 30 minutes before I got on the show, so this is it. And last but not least, Reverend Jay, what's going on? Look, just came back from vacation.
Yes, yes. Had a lot of fun. Now back to work on our next vacation.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Work hard and then enjoy life even harder.
You know it.
There you go. Look, the babies look like they was having a good time too.
Oh, that a blast. That a blast. So
But
we
y'all
loved it.
look like y'all was tired. Look like they wore y'all out. Y'all was sitting there. I caught that glimpse and Tracy was like this. I said, "Oh man,
Yeah,
she's out."
that day, we woke up around 6 o'clock, and we didn't go to sleep the whole night because the whole day was filled with some activities, and that was us at the airport trying to get back home. So
Hmm.
Okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with having a
yeah,
good, great family vacation.
life is meant to be lived.
There you go. There you go. Well, and saying all of that, today we are going to talk about living our best life. Now, we've been talking all these topics for the past couple of weeks for singles, and I thought that it was really, I looked at this seminar one time, and it said before the relationship, single first. And one of the things that I heard out of all of the different comments and things of that nature is a lot of times people, they don't know how to be happily single before they're
Mm,
happily married. So even when they go into a relationship, and I'm sure that those who are married can identify with this, we struggle with being successfully married because we never learn how to be successfully single. So when we get married, now we struggle with how do I become one with someone, but still maintain my individuality, because we already know that we come together, but I'm still an individual. It was funny when I was younger and I first got married, I used to identify myself as somebody's wife and the kid's mom. And that really kind of irritated me because I still wanted to I be identified as myself. But in order for me to have done it, I had to keep some of the qualities and the attributes that pertain to me in place. A lot of times when we get with someone, we lose our identity. Whatever the other person like is all we do, or whatever the other person says is who we become. So I want to talk about today living my best life before the relationship. Um how do we do that? How do we maintain ourselves and live our best life, and at the same time, when we go into relationships, how do, whether it's friendship, whether it's partnership, how do we not lose sight of who we are?
I think like I watched the video you shared with us. And I think the best way to not lose yourself in a relationship is to know yourself first, before you get into one, and to constantly work on you, to
Mhm.
understand that you are important, understand that you are valuable, understand that you have some things to do. Now the key, the joy of that is that when you know about you, you have no problem giving yourself away to someone else.
So I guess I think that sometimes I look at it even with people who have, like, is it important to have know your purpose? Is it important to have a vision for your own life before you
Oh
get with
yes,
someone?
that is
Absolutely.
key. That is key. That's totally key. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Absolutely.
totally key, especially when we're talking about marriages, because that's always a conflict. Is that when two people get together, they have different visions of how things should go. And if you don't have if you don't have a vision when you get with someone, and then you say I do, the conflict comes. Oh no, not I don't. But the problem is that you never had a vision about what you wanted in the beginning. That's one issue. So it's important that a person spend time getting to know who they like, and know what they like and what they want before they say I do to somebody, to ensure that they can get with the right person. If I will say that, if we can say that.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is get into a relationship, a marital relationship, and live regret. So you want to make sure that you have some goals, some purpose of your own, so that you can establish some things, and so you don't regret, because a lot of people do regret. If I hadn't gotten married, at this age or whatever, I wish I had of. You live through the wish I had of too much, and that causes a big disturbance in a marital relationship. So, like Rev said, know yourself, know you, know what you require, know what your purpose is, set some goals. Anyone that don't set goals don't make goals, and
Mm,
don't wait for somebody else to make goals for you. You set some goals, because you are two different people. When you get married, you become one, but you are still an individual. And individuals, sometimes they think individually. So you just want to make sure you don't live your years in a marital relationship of regret.
Well, I
As a
think
matter of fact, I again I was counseling a couple, and one of the challenges that one person always wanted to get married, and another person never ever wanted to get married,
hmm,
but they got married anyway. See, this is
Mhm.
what happens when you don't really know yourself and have a vision of what you want, understand how important that is that you're getting married to somebody and mess up their life and waste their time when you don't want to remarry. And I want to recommend to somebody, if you're with somebody, if you want to get married and you with somebody that don't want to get married, don't get married to them. More times than not, it's going to be a rough marriage because a person that don't want to get married, it's going to be hard for them to make that merge of being together, make that becoming one.
Right.
So I'm gonna flip this around because you have to be. There's a thin line between what you guys saying and a person that's been single 45 years. See, I've never been married. So all you guys on here are either married or has been married. So you have to be careful on how you say that because it depends on the person. Like I feel like I'm living my best life, but what I like to do is I'm a homebody. So coming home, getting in front of that remote control and that TV and relax after a hot bath, that's like flying to Brazil to me. You know what I mean? That's comforting to me. It didn't develop all of a sudden. I've been like that my entire life. I'm 45. My kids are grown. I had them early. So for me, it's like because I raised my kids, had my kids so early and they're grown now, and I've did everything that most married women will do, raise their kids, put them through college, you name it. Now I feel like I need to rest. My body is tired. My brain is tired. I have did it all by myself. And thanks to God and my oldest sister, Patricia. Without those three in my life, I would not be where I'm at today. But do I want to get married? That question comes across my head, my brain each day. I've been single for so long, to be honest with you, I really don't know. Because for me, if it had nothing to do with God, I can be honest with you, I don't think I will ever get married. And that's because I'm talking about the covering of it. I don't think I will ever be married because I don't know if it's because what I see out here in this world or because I've never experienced it. I don't know. But for me, what's important is a partnership. A man and I become one in the heart, mind, soul, spiritual, you name it. But for as just going to the courthouse and signing a piece of paper, I can care less. But the only reason I believe in my heart, the only reason I will get married is because the respect of God. If God had nothing to do with it, I don't think I will ever get married. I just want to enjoy life, to be honest with you, with someone who's on the same path that I'm on, to be honest with you.
Well,
Okay.
I want to add to
Can I
something
say
that
something?
Saveda said, though. You said that, you know, you're because you raised your children, that is what you like to do. Well, to me, it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Whatever. I think that
Right.
whatever you enjoy doing, and I think that when people say living their best life, whatever that means in your circle, I think that that's important. I think whether you enjoy watching a good movie or everybody is not an outgoing outdoor person. You have some people that enjoy being inside. You have some people
On that part right there, now don't get me wrong, I'm very outgoing. I like to go. However, I'm not one of those type of people where if you give me give me an example. If I'm dating someone and he say choose from two things: a nice romantic picnic with me for the first time, or let's fly to Jamaica. I'm gonna pick the picnic. That's just the type of person. And it could be because I've already been to Jamaica. I don't know, but I like the small things. I was telling Isaac over the weekend. I don't have V. I thank you for coming into my life. I love you. You are one of the few female friends you enjoy that gets me, and I get y'all. When it comes to conversations. But going to the drag races this weekend. See, I'm a tomboy at heart. I love horses. I love motorcycles. So me out there in that track, and it was
All
a lot
right.
of fish grease out there. I told Ike, I bullcorn you not. I said, I'm kind of glad I ain't got a lot of female friends because if I had a choice to go shopping, girls day out shopping, or go to the track and do motorcycle racing, I'm choosing motorcycles.
That's cool.
So that
right. But what I'm saying is, when we talk about, because the topic is living your best life, I think that what a lot of people struggle with is prior to any relationship that they get involved in, they haven't discovered what their best life is.
Is yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why I wanted everybody to watch the video, because
So
she was saying that a lot of times we put too much emphasis on, and all of us do it, at some point in our life, we put a large emphasis on what other people say and what other people want to do and whatever the dynamics of the relationship is, and never understanding who I am. I think it's awesome that you're the age that you are and you have raised your children and you haven't been married, because for those who have been married, that is something that we have, a lot of us have struggled with. We took on marriage too young and we didn't know ourselves, so we didn't even know what living our best life was. We didn't get a chance to live our best life because we got married. So in the marriage, I had to learn myself. I had to learn who I was. I had to take care of the kids. I had to take care of him. Don't really know what I like. Don't really know what I like to do because I got to take care of everybody. Versus if I only had to live single and live my best life, then I could have probably eliminated some bad choices in my life. So when I say living your best life, I think that the key thing is being able to you said something about a picnic. Well, when I was single, I was able to do picnics by myself. I ask people all the time, can you go out and date yourself? Can you go and a lot and
See,
some people
I've already did all that. See, I'm at a point, like you said, you guys already been married. I'm ready to do this. And if
right.
it
But
doesn't matter if I'm
but
married or
what
not,
we're
but
doing
I'm
is
ready to bring
we're
a quality.
generalizing it. It's not about any of us. I'm saying that the struggle with a lot of people, whether they have been married or whether they have been single, you have some people that struggle with doing that. They have a
Yeah, I
problem
get
with going out to eat by themselves. They have a problem with dating themselves. They have a problem with when I talk to people and I'm like, well, why don't you just go out to dinner? Well, I don't like going out to dinner by myself. Well, why? Why don't you like going out to dinner by yourself?
Let me say this. Let me base this off of the video because you sent the video and I watched it. One thing I like what she said. You have to learn how to be vulnerable multiple times to learn yourself.
Hmm.
I can agree to that statement. You want to know the reason why I can agree to that statement? Because I've never been vulnerable, but about 2 or 3 times in my entire life.
Hmm.
And one of those 3 times is now. So, what have I learned more about myself in that vulnerability is really to go back and to analyze what I'm feeling in those moments of our vulnerability. Because I've never, you know, being raised as a single child, um, being raised as a single child for 12 years, I learned how to internalize everything with myself, right?
Mhm.
So I never was vulnerable to anybody in front of me because at the time I was raised to be hard. Don't you cry. You know, you are short, you this, and I was much shorter then than I am now. But I got beat up by my cousins, and made me hard and it made me harbor feelings of what I was feeling. So what did I learn how to do my entire life is to internalize to myself without truly expressing what I feel or what I'm going through. So I agree with that, and I do believe that there's a stigmatism, or not a stigmatism, but there's a stereotype that that we have to be married. I can say that Saveda and I have companionship without being in a relationship because we enjoy doing a lot of things with each other. We truly enjoy and have a blast doing it. And we literally are living life um in friendship, but even though our friendship is more like in companionship, but we're not married. But literally we have a blast together. Um and and so I think that when people see the amount of fun that that we have together, it's stuff that I was already doing. The only difference is that Sylvanas just got to expose what I did in my private life all the time. So he's out on the front street in front of people. Um, So
I need compensation on that. I need my coins because I don't.
so
Look.
so
I
but
want to ask. I want to ask.
Hey,
Uh,
Rev J, the women be coming at him, honey.
let me
I
I
let
know
me
want
come.
to
he
go
get my
both
Uh,
promotion,
ends to say
uh,
this
money.
because it's
let- can I say something
it's
real quick on
very
marriage?
it's very rare that a woman has been single as long as you have been single. So, what are some of the things that you have enjoyed in your life, in your singleness, that has allowed you to not feel the pressures of being married? Because I think that a lot of us are not like you. You know, we felt the pressures of being married at a very young age, but how have you sustained from falling into those pressures where you were able to enjoy your life, raising your children, and just being single?
Number one, I don't forget if it was Dr. B said it or Rev J. My goals came before any man in a
Mhm.
relationship.
Okay.
And that is nursing school, which I am 45 years old in nursing school. Like I said, I raised my kids first, put them through college, got one more. This is her senior year. So I was busy being mom. And then two, I watched the relationships that my mom went through, and I said, that would not be me. So, meaning my mom, before she passed away in March, she was married for 31 years. Well, my mom had a history of being with the wrong men. I'm not
Mhm.
going to bring God into this. I don't know how she ended up with those men, but the men were wrong for her. The last relationship she was in, which she married the guy for 31 years, it was very abusive, physical, mentally, whatever. So watching my mom go through that and watching the woman that she became during that process, I made a promise to myself that is not what's going to happen to me. But as we said on another show of yours, that you know, that saying you track what you are, that I'm not gonna, I don't like that saying because it needs to switch it around because I know I am not the type of person that intentionally go out and hurt people. Or I'm not a liar, I'm not a cheater. And that's typically what I run into. But as someone that has been single for a very long time, someone who is not sexually active, I'm okay with going out to eat. I by myself. I did it before Isaac. I do it now. I go shopping by myself. I ride motorcycles by myself. Everything that I do with Isaac, the reason we can be great friends is because we had the same thing in common. I did all of that. The picnics all by myself, movie night all by myself. You right now, sometimes when I come home, I'm off work, but I might be at a parking lot catching up on a Netflix movie. Like literally, it ain't because I don't want to come home and watch it. It's because I'm that comfortable with my me time. So go ahead, Reb.
I want to say something about marriage. No one has to get married. But marriage is a spiritual act, and when you say I do, something spiritually happen, and your relationship, that there's a part of the relationship that you will experience with the person that you get to embrace when you're not married, and there's a whole nother level once you say I do. Again, I can't explain how it happened. I just know it happens. That once I do, you get to see a different side of a person. So again, you don't have to get married, but again, I think that it is essential though. But again, you can still live your best life without being married. For a good example, like this, before I got married, I was still doing what I'm doing now. And my purpose was I was not going to get married to anyone that was going to interfere with me doing with what I'm doing already. Which it worked out very well.
Now
So,
I want to flip it around and I want to ask Dr. Bennett because Dr. Bennett, you've never been single. You got married at a very young age because prior to your age, you were in high school. So you've been married to the same person for 58 years, which is my dad. So how do you incorporate that into um like all of those years not losing yourself? Because I think that you're pretty successful, you're pretty independent, but how did you get there?
Well, like I said, you don't want to live um, being married in regret. And I
mm,
got married very young. So I had to make some decisions because I knew that if I had waited, I would have it would have taken me less time. Well, I still had to, I had dreams, I had purpose. I started late, and that's how I ended up where I am right now. It was not easy because I was out of high school 13 years before I went to college. I mean, I still had a family, had a husband, and once I started, I just never stopped until I got my PhD. Never stopped. I
So
kept
you
going.
all, Dr. B, all you know is your husband, right? For his relationship.
Yes.
Now, I will say this. I am glad I have had the penis experience in my life before I do get married, if I do get married, because I cannot imagine you. Sorry.
All right. Go on and say it. You put yourself out there. Go on and say it,
Dr.
girl.
B, I love you, but oh my God, I am glad.
What is it that you can't imagine? I'm sorry.
Never mind, Dr. B.
No, you can say it. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh my
It's
God.
your voice.
You
It is your voice.
Well, listen, let me say something. You can't miss what you never had.
True that. True
That's
that.
true.
True
You
that.
cannot miss what you never had.
You know,
But
Dr.
you can
B,
be the
I'm gonna have to.
best. You
I'm
can
gonna
be
have to
the
debate
best
you.
at what you have.
Yes,
And at
ma'am.
58 years, it's still happening.
Dr. B, you know what?
Go ahead,
gonna
Dr.
sorta-
B.
Hey, I'm
That's
gonna
it.
sort of kind of debate you on that statement is that you don't miss what you never had. I have some friends that are single and that are virgins.
Hmm.
I get to hear them talk about um the the very strong desire of wanting to have sex.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
something that they've never had.
Right.
So, and prior to listening to them and their desire to have sex, and it's not like that they're thinking about it, it's a bodily like wants. Is something within their body that actually wants it, even though that they're still virgins. So how would you explain that in the essence that how can you miss something that you never had?
Well, they may have a desire, but it's just like ice cream. If you've never had chocolate ice cream, you may have desire it, but how can you miss it? You miss the taste. You can't miss the taste because you never had the taste. So if you've never had sex, the taste of sex, the experience of sex, you may desire it, but it's not something that you're absolutely missing.
Okay,
Now
gotcha.
I want to say this to like yeah, I watched Silvadia show about
Oh,
it
Lord.
doesn't matter about body count or reputation. And again, I haven't been reverend all my life, so I have my days. But I come to realize that whether you have
I haven't been
no experience,
all my life. So I have
a little bit of experience, it doesn't matter because it's about what you're experiencing in the now with the person you're with, which can always be made better as you practice together. So um, you know, you know, it what like as everybody says, you only get out of it what you put into it.
I want the video you had us watch. One thing I do disagree with the young lady when she said, I think she said, I don't want to, I can't remember the exact quote, but I know it had to do with dying alone. I don't want to die alone. Like, I don't have a problem with, doing things while I'm alive by myself. That's no issue. But when I want to be married next to my husband, or
Yeah.
he's married next to me. I mean, buried next to my husband. I want that family plot. I just, now I think that's a little ludicrous. There, I do not want to die alone. I do. I mean, I said this on your show a couple weeks ago about a friend of mine's in Texas that's a nurse. How three black men that had strokes, well off black men, never married, but was always a player. I'm not a player, but what I'm saying is they have no one by their side except their children who does not live locally. So they going home for to be taken care of by a CNA. Like that
Yes.
has to be. I when I'm sick, if I'm sick, I want if I'm married, I want my husband at that time to be there by my bedside. Or if I'm not married, my significant other. However you want to label whoever my partner is going to be in my future. If I'm sick, ill in any kind of way, if I'm about to die, I want someone who loves me by my side. I don't want to die alone. So I disagree with that young lady on that video on that part.
Well,
I agree.
I want to say this though. Everybody is not afforded the opportunity to get married. So I agree with
Say it
you.
again.
I
Sorry.
said everyone is not afforded to have the opportunity to get married that wants to get married, because it has to be where somebody is interested in the other person to get married. So
I
here's
don't
the
disagree with that because I know a guy that wants to get married. He just haven't found anybody that he felt
right, but
that was right.
what I'm saying is, hear what I'm saying. And let me rephrase that. If you never find the person or you never come across the person, because you're not guaranteed before death that you are going to find the person that you love that will marry you. You have some people, they never find that love. They never find that person. So the thing is, I think that what she was saying was, you have a lot of people that while they're waiting, they're not living. They're not living
Correct.
life. They're not
I agree.
living life to their
Agreed.
full. While you're waiting, because here's the thing: if you're waiting, you got some people that they're like, I'm waiting. I want a husband. You got some men. I want a wife. Well, I've talked to some men and I'm like, well, what you doing? Why you waiting? Oh, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for her to come along and then I'll start doing things. No, you should be doing things while you're waiting. Because here's the thing. If you just sitting and waiting, you're just going to be waiting. How you going to meet somebody if you're not doing things? And then the other part that I do appreciate her saying is, then you put pressure. Sometimes we put pressure on other people to give us a life. It's like, okay, now you met that person. Well, what do you like to do? I don't know what I like to do. Well, where do you like to go? I don't know where I like to go. Now they got to figure out your whole life instead of you living your life. So when you get to meeting that great person, now you can live your great life together. Something that I appreciate that Isaac just said, and I think that goes for Derek and I. You said that when you and Silvada do things, you're having fun. Well, it's the same thing with us. We're husband and wife, but we do everything together. We have a great life. We have fun. But when we got to, I think that the reason we have the fun that we do is because while he was single, he lived his best life. When I was single, I lived my best life. So then when we got together, okay, well, what do you like to do? I like to shoot pool. I like to do karaoke. I
So
like to go.
you guys are two extroverts then.
But regardless, it was like I took on what he liked, just like Isaac was saying. You guys do things together, so when people see us, they're like, "Wow, you guys are literally having fun." That's what it's all about. Whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, whatever, however you got together. He liked horses. I like horses. He likes to go do this. I like to do that. So it's like now you took your interest and you put it together and you became one. So it should be that way, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're friends, whether you're partners. It shouldn't be where a lot of times, and I think that what destroys relationships is people didn't live happily single. So when they got married, they brought all their misery into the marriage. And then it's like they put all their stuff, and the other person is going, okay, well, I like to do this and I like to do that. And the other person is like, well, I don't like to do nothing. So now you didn't really mesh together and find that person that's just for you. It has to be where there's some common ground. That's all I'm saying is while you're single, because not everybody wants to be married, but the people that want to get married be happily single. So when you get married, you're happily married. Don't bring your unhappy self into somebody's happy life.
Right.
I agree. I
Well, I
agree.
think too, when you're talking about marriage, first of all, you don't want to be unequally yoked. Now that's very important.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that like some things. This person likes this thing, and this. You have to iron all of that out. But when you're you're using the word partner, you're using the word significant other, and so forth and so on, and all of that's good. But we're talking about marriage. When you're married, and everyone on this screen, from what I'm hearing, is a Christian. In a Christian marriage, it's a different thing. Okay, in Christian marriage, Christian relationship, it's a different thing. I don't care how much fun you're having, you can have fun together as friends and so forth and so on. If you can abstain from having sex, it's cool. But once you can't abstain from that, then there's another thing that you need to look at, because there's a lot of people out there in church. I'm talking about in church, that they're trying to have a relationship. They're trying to have the fun and all that without marriage, and the sex is included. As a Christian, now I'm just taking it from a Christian perspective, because we have some Christian hearers, and we don't want the show to be biased. No, but we want to tell the truth.
Yes.
If you're in a relationship and you can abstain from sex, go for it.
But there are relationships that are happening. But there are relationships
and
that's
there
happening.
are relationships that happen like that, and I
But
do know.
I'm a witness of that.
There are also relationships that are happening like that
Yes.
has zero Christian values. Even in it, it's just a level of commitment that they made.
Right.
So I'm not. I don't want to put the. I don't want to. I'm gonna try to see how can I put this.
Rev J, what I say? I'm a different type of Christian.
I am one that truly believes this. This is that you don't need God to have a great relationship, to have a successful relationship. You
Correct.
don't need God for that.
That's facts.
Yeah.
I do believe.
I know people been married for years.
Yes, but I do believe that if you are a Christian, that having God within your relationship is the saran wrap. It is that or that shrink wrap.
Exactly.
It's that shrink wrap to the relationship.
Yes.
But that is the difference. The total crux about marriage is the two people having one mind when it comes to their relationship. Whatever that one mind is for their relationship. I don't care what your relationship does. I don't care what your relationship does. Your relationship. It's all about what me and the person that I say I'm married. It's all about what we come together and say that this is what we agree upon. These are the goals that we agree upon. These are the rules and the boundaries that we agree upon.
Right.
Once that's it, you have a successful marriage when you move forward in succeeding at that. Again, just having Christ in your life amongst that. It's just the shrink wrap to codify with the agape love and Christ being within the relationship.
Well,
exactly. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. But what I'm saying is, and I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm hoping I'm not misunderstood. I'm saying that when you're in a relationship and you're having fun, that's good, because I'm hearing you say that you and Silvadia have a close relationship, and that's good. There's a lot of people that can. I also heard Silvadia say not having sex. That's good. Some people can do that, but there are other people that can't.
That's because I know what I want. For me, when it comes to sex, I am an emotional. I can't say the bad word, but I can't just lay up with a man. I've never been able to do that. I'm emotionally attached to him. So if I'm gonna give my body to someone, it's someone that I care for, I love, and we're dating with a purpose.
In marriage.
Yes.
In marriage.
Yes. So that's why my legs are closed.
That's my point.
Yes. But Rev J, I know you want to jump in, but I want to say something that my father, who was a deacon for years, so many years, he's dead and gone now due to someone killed him. But one thing I asked him, I said, Dad, how did you and Faye keep y'all marriage so solid like that? And my dad said, keep church folk out your business. He said, and I promise you he said that. And he said, you keep church folk out your business, you'll have successful marriage. And
Mm.
he was a deacon for many, 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 many years. He definitely was. But and he was married for 30 some years before someone killed him. But
Mm.
as I got older, I got what he was saying. Because if I tell you, when it comes to relationship or anything else dealing with Silvada's life, the most pain has came not from God, but from the church folk themselves.
Yeah. But Savannah, that's not, you can't put all church people in the same box.
No,
Because they are,
trust me, they are not in the
and
same box. But
I
I see
understand
with a
there's
long head of
no hurt like
spoon.
church hurt.
That's for
But
sure.
there are some church people, there are some individuals in church that have had good experiences and they've had some bad experiences that can give some good advice. So
Mm.
all of them
Right.
don't
You're
fit
right.
in that same bucket.
That is true.
Well, I do want to say this, since we're talking about church, I believe that the one thing that people have to disassociate themselves with in living their best life is the difference between having a relationship with the church versus having a relationship with
Relationship
God.
with God.
God.
Because a lot
Right.
of times
That's right.
people don't live their best
There you
life
go.
because they're so people
Right.
conscious and
Right.
they're not God conscious. So
Right.
it's a lot of things that people may think that what you're doing is wrong, and
Right.
God is not even concerned with it.
And
And
I
that
don't even care.
and that's the thing. I think that a lot of people are not meeting and having effective relationships because we're listening to people. We're not
Right.
listening to our relationship with God and who He is in our life and how He's tailored us. So we have been told everything under the sun is wrong.
Right.
Everything is not wrong.
Right.
Everything is not a sin. And the only way you can live your best life, even according to God, is you need to have that close relationship with God because He knows you best. So
Right.
if He knows you best, then you'll be able to go places freely. Now, here's the thing: what you may not be able to do freely, I can do freely because
That's
my
right.
conviction and your convictions is not the same. So, see, a lot of times people in the church will tell you, "Well, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong,"
Right.
when God is like, "If that's what you want to do, do it."
Right.
It may not be wrong to him. So a lot of times I think that it's important that first and foremost, you have a great relationship with God.
That's
That's
right.
where it
That's
starts
right. And
because
I agree.
He's the one that created you.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
you can go and you can live your abundant life freely.
Right.
You can have your friends, you can have however your relationships go. That is going to be how effective you're going to be. A lot of
Right.
people don't live their best life because they don't really know who they are. They
That's
don't know
right.
who they are in Him. So we keep
That's right.
listening to people and then we get afraid. Like, how many times you wonder? I remember it was times where I wanted to wear a bathing suit and I was told I couldn't wear one. I was told I couldn't
Mm.
wear a bikini. I was told that this was wrong. I was
Mhm.
told that
Mhm.
was wrong. And then I got a clue one day and I was like, wait a minute. My relationship is not with you. My
That's right.
relationship is with Him. So
That's right.
the closer I get to Him, the better I'm going to know myself. And then the better I am in the relationship that I'm in. And I
Right.
think that that's where people go wrong. So when you're living your best life, it's I know what's best for me. I
Right.
know who should be in my life. And I know to the level of how these people should be in my life. I don't need anybody to tell me that this is wrong or that is wrong or this is wrong and that is wrong, because if I'm in tune with Him, then He's going to tell me what's wrong. And if
If you read the Word of God, it'll tell you what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You have to read it. You just have to read it. You just
but
have to
I
read it.
think
If it's
that
not written, it's not God.
Yes.
But a lot of things I think that people get off into is man things and not God things. And
That's
Right.
right.
I think
That's
that
right.
it's really important that we stop rewriting the Bible
That's
and
right.
telling people what God said, because it's
You better
not God.
speak, D.
And
You better
a
speak.
lot of things, because if you really want to be honest, I haven't quite been able to find out where it says that two people get married and it's on a piece of paper. I'm still trying to find that. It's not
What's
there.
that?
You're
What's
trying
that?
to find what?
What consummates a marriage is two people sleeping together. That's what the consummation was. But I never heard of a ceremony in the Bible where they had a script, where they had a ceremony, where they had a preacher. I didn't hear that. It's a lot of things that people preach
Well,
that.
well, that's not in the Bible, but also the Bible tells us that we must abide by the laws of the land. And
Exactly.
the law says you cannot get married without having an ordained person to actually officiate the wedding.
Exactly.
So you can have your cousin up there who's not ordained and do the wedding, but and they can sign the paperwork, but and legally they officially would not be married. And if you go to court and they find out that person was not ordained at that time, that marriage would be null and void. So that itself is not in the Bible, but the Bible it tells us to obey the laws of the
Yeah,
land,
the
and
laws of the land.
that's the laws of the land. So
And that is a law of the land.
yeah.
But if that's the laws of the land, okay, and I get that, that's the laws of the land, not the laws of God. So what
But
I'm
the
saying
Bible
is, what
says
you
that
just
we have to
said,
obey the laws of the land.
we have to
Yeah.
obey the laws of the land if we say we want to get married.
Right.
But if I don't say I want to get married, there's
Right.
nowhere in the Bible that says you have to get married, and that's
No.
a different
No,
conversation.
no, absolutely not.
So
No.
my thing is, what when you say that, when we say that these things are wrong, we got to make sure that we are clear on what it says in the Bible that justifies what's wrong and what's right.
Now I'm
That's
gonna
all.
say
Okay, give us
can
a
I say
for
real quick?
instance. Give us a for instance of what you're saying.
What I'm saying is,
What do you
when we
say?
talk about, because a lot of
What is
people
wrong? What
say,
is not
a
wrong?
lot of people say God said. A lot of people say, first of all, I don't even think God is really concerned about who you marry. I really don't. I think that God gives us common sense on who is for us and who is not for us.
Right.
He just don't drop a husband down and wife down and all of that.
He gives
I
us a
think
choice.
I think that, again, when we start talking about our living our best life, everything is predicated upon how our relationship is. Because one thing about it, if we're wrong, I think that if you have a relationship with God above the Bible, that's above the Bible. If we have a great relationship with God, He's gonna let you know that you're wrong.
But you can't have a relationship with God without the Bible.
Yeah.
I disagree, but okay.
You can't have a relationship with God without the Bible, because it's His word that's written. It's in the Bible. That's how you build the relationship with God.
I think that the thing is, because it's been written by so many different people, they put their own version of things in there. So I think that I'm gonna go with my relationship. That's more important, because when we talk about what's written and what's interpreted, it's a lot of interpretations, and there's a lot of things that people teach according to their interpretation. So that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah. And but I think that's a good part about this. One good thing about the Bible, for the most common sense of things, it's all really spelled out in the Bible. So this is really, if you really want it, if you don't believe it, just go to the Bible. If you see it, you believe it. For the most common
but the
sense.
thing about it is, you can have, and this is my point, and then I'm gonna go back to the subject. You have a blind person that can't see and they never read the Bible. How do they know? How do they know whether they're right or wrong?
Well, right now we got audio Bibles.
Right, wrong, because they have their relationship with God. They don't ever have to read the Bible to know right from wrong, because their relationship with God will tell them whether or not they're right or wrong. But we're gonna go back to living.
So yes, let me go back to living your best life. Back to and I watched the video and I agree with the woman that was saying that you should live your life now and you shouldn't wait for anyone. And I want to go back to Silvadia's show, talking about, I think her show, talking about body counts. I think people should date and be in different relationships. Now, when I say dating, I'm not talking about having sex with everybody you date, because you don't have to have sex with everybody you date. But I'm saying, though, dating is essential to get to find out really what you want in a relationship. Again, a lot of people, they jump into relationships without really knowing what kind of relationship that they really want. Matter of fact, some people have personality clashes, whereas that you're one way, and the person you're in a relationship has a different personality, and it just won't mix.
Right.
It's not saying that it won't work, but it'd be harder because your personalities just won't work together, and nobody's willing to change.
Right. I totally agree
so again, this is why you must date. You must be in relationships, live your life, get exposure, so you can when you get ready to say I do to somebody, or if you say I do to somebody, you can have a good informed decision based upon all the experiences that you had in life.
That's right. You are totally
So I
right.
have a question then. When you talk about that, so as when you become one, is both people, like if one person is a CEO, or if one person is a business owner, does it mean that the other person has to join in? Or if one person, like say for instance, you have a pastor that marries someone, does that make her have to be in ministry because he's a pastor?
No.
No. But again, you both now must um sit down and talk about how you're gonna live your life. You must in any relationship, not just marriage, in any relationship, you must have one vision. Well, there's two visions, there's always gonna be division. When I say one vision, how are you gonna live life? How are you gonna interact in life? Am I gonna go with you to church? If I'm not gonna go to church, now again, these are things that you should talk about. Like again, because in reality that you have some couples where pastors pastor one a church and a wife is going to another church, which is pretty much okay. But again, question is it okay with them? And that is what you must talk about when it comes to not just marriage. I want to just but in a relationship, you must first learn how to have a good relationship if you plan on having a good marriage.
Mm.
Yeah, like and I know if Joy is watching, so Joy is probably gonna call me on my mess because her and I talked about this. Like, I can't date multiple people, and I understand, Lady V, I understand Joy when they say you're not having sex with them, you're just going out on a date. My mind ain't set up like that. I can only focus on one man at a time. And it has nothing to do with whether I'm telling the truth or lying or anything like that. I tried it and it's not for me.
Yeah.
I can't do
Now,
it.
now,
So I don't, for somebody like me, I don't look at it like I lost 6 months of my life because this guy might not have been the one for me. I just look at it as, I interviewed him for the position. He didn't make it. So I'm gonna go to the next, person.
now, I like Lady V's philosophy. That's what I believe in. Like I'm like again, when I say dating, I mean you really in a one committed relationship with somebody, which
Right.
I don't think everybody you meet you have to be in a committed relationship with them. You got friends,
You gotta be
um,
friends first. Yeah.
and not saying you have to sleep with them. You don't have to sleep with your friends. Like
Right.
let's make that clear.
Right.
But again, I would say be friends, and then if anyone, and again, if that friendship turns into a relationship, so be it. But I think I like again, me personally, I think again, I don't believe in wasting my time. I'm not gonna be with nobody for more than a year in a real committed relationship or 3 years and then find out, oh, they don't want what I want. No, we're gonna find that out within
Right.
at least the first year. If not, I say, no, you go do your thing, I'm gonna do my thing, and just have friends, where we just associate. Because again, like myself, I like being around people.
Yeah.
So if I need to be married, I want to be married because I don't want to go on vacation by myself. I don't want to go to dinner by myself. I don't want to go to a movie by myself. I can, but I don't want to, and I probably won't. So I need
Well, I
somebody.
did it, and I'm like, oh man, I sure wish I had someone here with me. Like, like it's you just want that companionship, regardless of because I like I said, I'm backwards. I've been single a long time, never been married. So if God bless me with a husband, I'm gonna take him in. But if he don't, I'm gonna still be with the man that makes me happy, regardless.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Something Christina said, she said a couple of things, but she said, I believe in transference of energy with or without sex.
Yeah.
You don't have to have sex with someone to create a soul tie. So I won't recommend random dating. Now, when I say random dating, let me make myself
Yes,
clear. Because
explain, Lazy.
there is and there's different levels of dating. You have, and I had to learn this from the children because I used to think that way. And I think that that was one of the reasons why I had unsuccessful relationships, because one thing that I realized about myself and other women, when we meet someone, we are emotional creatures. So we meet somebody and it's like, okay, I'm dating this person and that's it. then that person winds up being a long-term relationship that could go bad. When I say dating, there's a difference in hanging out,
Hmm.
dating, and then dating with intentions. There's all three levels of that. So when you're hanging out or getting to know means that that's my interview process. That's my process
Hmm.
of I'm still living my best life. Hey, I met you at the ice cream parlor. How you doing? You want to get together? You want to have some ice cream? Sure. We're hanging out. I don't even know if I like you enough to spend not 6 months, 6 hours. I need to know that I want to spend 6 minutes with you before I spend 6 hours with you to spend 6 months with you. So that's the difference. So maybe I'm saying it wrong. So first is the hanging out. Is let's get together. Let's go get
Yeah.
some ice cream. Okay, the ice cream was successful. Now what? Let's go for a walk or let's go on a picnic. Okay, the picnic was successful. Now I think I like you enough that we can actually go out on a date. I mean, we dating.
See, that's
A
might be why I'm still single, V, because it's just too many steps.
no,
I
no,
really feel
listen,
like I need to be in college
because
just to date.
because
Like
I
it's
can't
just
I
I
can't
make a
be
book,
what
Dating for Dummies.
when you talk about
right.
hanging out, hanging. Thank you, NASA. There are levels, and that's what we don't
There's
understand.
levels, but I'm gonna tell you something. Like I ain't rushing, but let me tell you something. I'm very big on energy. If we enjoying life together, I just don't feel like I need to be like, okay, check one. He okay for ice
No,
cream.
but see,
Check
stop
two.
right
He
there.
okay
Stop
for.
right there. You're talking about already with a person. I'm
Yeah.
Oh,
talking
okay.
about
Okay.
first time meeting a person. I met you
Right.
wherever online. I met you at this grocery store. I just met you. I just met you is not a we're dating.
We get married. Yes.
Right.
Met
Right.
you. I gotta hang out with you first because I don't even know if I want to date you. Then
Yes.
after a couple of weeks of hanging out, okay, you cool. Now let's go out on a date. Okay. Now we go out on a date. Hey, I really like you. Okay, let's go on another date. Okay, hey, this second date is good. Now we're rolling somewhere. We're rocking and roll. Now I like you, you like me. Now we dating more. Now we go from dating to dating with intentions. Okay, well, dating with intentions normally means that you're not dating nobody else.
Hmm.
Then okay, now we in it. We two people enjoying each other. I get it. But a lot of people don't even go through the hanging out stage. It's like you have people who, and these are the people that's not living their best life. Now, I
Yeah.
can't take away Silvada because Silvada been single for a while, so she knows what that means. Let's go with the people that don't do that. Let's go with the people that's sitting home eating bonbons every day. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't doing nothing. They don't have no friends. They don't watch. They don't know what's going on in the world today. And they meet somebody, and they like, oh my God, he my husband. No, girl, he's not your husband. He's not even your boyfriend. He is just somebody that you just met. But because she wasn't living her best life, he became an instant husband in her mind because she didn't even go and live her great life before she met somebody that she think you don't even know if he a wife beater or what he is.
Yeah.
You just know that that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those people who don't do anything with their life. They're just sitting in the house. They're not ever going anywhere. And they are just like, you know what? And now they meet this guy, and the guy is saying to them, I just want to get to know you. Oh, no, you my boo. You my boo. You my man. Wait a minute. How did I go from being somebody that was talking to you 10 minutes on the phone and now I became your boo? I just want to hang out for a minute. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not
Well,
talking about you
yeah,
have to go
yeah,
in many people, but there has to be a hanging out stage. There's a
right,
beginning of dating.
right. There are levels. There are definitely levels, and not only that. Now I know this. I know a situation, a real live situation, where the two people. That's why I was listening to Isaac and Saveda. and I cherish a relationship like that. Two people can just have fun as friends and so forth and
Oh
so
yeah.
on. But let's go back to living your best life. This particular girl, she got wrapped up with this guy, and they were very, very close. They were best friends. I mean, they did everything together. Their family, they knew each other, and so forth and so on. This went on for 3, 4, 5 years. And what happened? He eventually, in between the best friend thing, he met somebody,
Mm.
and he hooked up with that person, and that's who he married. And she was devastated. I mean, devastated. Now, she did all those steps. She did all the levels that you're talking about, but she got stuck in that partnership thing, and he was her everything. So she didn't live nothing. She didn't live
Yeah.
anything.
No.
But in between all that, his golf or whatever he was doing, he met somebody, and he married that girl and married to her to this day.
I give you a good example. I met my wife at the movie theater. It's a long story. We don't have time for it. But I met her, and I was still in the military. Yeah. So at the time, I was still in the military. She was living in New Jersey. I was in Louisiana at the time, and we met. We exchanged phone numbers, and I went back to my home in Louisiana. But we stayed in touch. I would call her every now and we would talk on the phone. And when I came into town, we would probably meet up, either go to lunch or breakfast. I don't think we went to dinner. And no, we did not have sex. We were just friends, just cool. Of course, like I think 3 years later, I actually got out the military, and she was still single, and I was single, and we kept on talking. Just went out, kept on going out on dates. Not dates, just kept on going out. We weren't having sex, none of that stuff. Again, they eventually feelings started to evolve, and then we decided to really, make a commitment to each other and date each other. So again, I just want to give you an example when we talk about levels of dating and friends. Now, in between those things, I'm sure she had other people she talked to. I had other people I talked to. And I think that it's okay to talk to, if you're not in a committed relationship, which you need to make that clear. It's okay to talk to other people.
Yeah.
To keep finding out what do you really want. And until you are ready to make a commitment to that person, and a person is ready to make a commitment to you. I think, and so you want to live your best life. I think you will be more attractive when you're being the real you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like something Reverend Jay said earlier. You can't waste my time.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Because there is a such thing as wasting my time.
Mm.
That's what happened with this particular girl. He wasted her time.
See, and back to what Dr. B was saying, like I think we are best friends. When I say we do everything, but you got to look at some key words in there. If I'm his best friend, I know what. Everything that he does.
Yes.
Everything he does. So if I'm his best friend and he tells me everything, I see him doing everything, but we connect on levels where he's been on the show 100 times and he always talk about me, Silvadia. What does that tell you if I'm his best friend?
Well, to me, it sounds like it could turn into a marriage. That's what it sounds like to me.
That's where I'm going. She ain't
That's what
catching
it
that.
sounds like to me.
She ain't catching that tea, Ramsey. If I'm his best friend and we are not a couple, then what that tell you? Just because you best friends don't mean you are meant to be one.
Correct.
Now,
Exactly. That's my point.
So,
now
I'm gonna say this.
Right.
Now, if me and Isaac tweet some things in both of our lives, could we be the perfect couple? Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Right.
But either one of us are not ready for what.
Right.
We're not ready.
But Silvadia, you would have been a great help to this girl because she was his best friend. And she did know everything about him. But the piece that she missed was the fact that she was his best friend. She was his bestie. He was her bestie. But he didn't have marriage in mind. He had best friend in mind.
That's the thing.
She missed that.
I've never been married. I've never been married ever.
Right.
Isaac been married twice.
Right.
For one 20 something years, the other one a short period of time. And then Isaac loves to be in relationship. I love being in relationship. But ever since I've known Isaac, but when he was married, after his divorces, I've told him you need to date self first for you to find out who you are as an individual. Because like Dr. B, he's been married. He got married, I think, at the age of 19. So
wow.
he does not know how to be by himself. But if I had to write down what I wanted in a man, Isaac fits that down to a T.
Oh,
Everything except relationship. See, me and him are not compatible mindset when it comes to relationship. Now, if he dated himself for a couple of years, if I'm not already taken, he'll be my king. But right
now
now,
I want to give a tip to all the people out there. I want to encourage you to live your best life. Also, remember this. I'll give you a quick tip. Friends tell friends everything.
everything.
If I was single, I would still start everything off with being friends, because friends tell friends everything.
I know everything from the rooter to the tutor, honey.
As soon as you put that title of dating on it, all of a sudden they start clamoring up. They don't share stuff, and you won't get much out. Me personally, I will always start with being friends, because you get more. A person you have more will be more freely to share about what they are, who they are, what they've been through. Then if you start dating a person as soon as you meet them, oh, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend. So that's just a tip for those out there that want to know.
When you become friends with someone like me and Isaac, you get to learn flaws that you'll have. You look at your friend like, what the heck? What are you thinking, dude? And then you also, at another point of that, I know who I am as individual. Now, if I did not know my best friend and I was just some girl on the street, Isaac been swept me off my feet with the snap of a finger, because he's a great guy. I have nothing bad to say about him whatsoever, except relationship wise, we are not compatible at this time in our life. We talked about dating, and it's just not compatible. But he is my best friend. I love him to death. I've even helped him on some things when it comes to dating other women. So, some pointers coming from a woman's point of view, how to, to get them. But what I've learned is my best friend needs to take out time for himself. He needs to.
Yeah. Well, I know Reverend Jay is married, and Lady V has been married, a few times. But I will say this from an older person's point of view and a word of wisdom: nobody knows everything about a person.
That's right.
No doubt. No doubt.
Nobody. There are some things that come after.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yeah, because Isaac told me he didn't know I was.
I don't care how close you were. There's some things that come up after.
Well, I think, and I'm glad that you said that, because I do want to say this before we end the show. One thing I realize is in relationship, especially men and women, it takes a minute for us to get to the best friend stage of life.
Yeah.
Now, I definitely agree that you should start off friends, because the friendship is going to be able to determine whether or not I like you.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I can love you. I can love you all day long. I love Derek D. Hall with all my heart. But what makes us friends, what makes us have fun, what makes us keep us from arguing and all the other things, I like him. And I think that a lot of times we gotta like the person that we are in relationship with. Because when you like the person, then liking means that I can be patient with some of the things that you need to change. And I'm not going to criticize you. I'm not going to argue with you over every little thing that you do, because liking a person means that, you know what, I really think you're cool. I think I can hang out with you. I think that a lot of times people they get with people and it's like, oh, I'm in love. Okay. But are you in like? Are you in like with
I agree.
person?
Yes.
So you're gonna wake up in the morning and see your face. Do I want to
Mm-hmm.
go and hang out with you? Do I want to go and shoot pool with you? Do I want you to be in my space and me be in your space? Because you got a lot of people that's married that loves each other, but they don't want to be
They,
in each other's
they don't
space.
like each
So
other.
it
But
has
do
Yeah.
you
to
A whole
like
lot
each
of
other?
them.
Do you
I
like each other
totally
outside
agree
of the
with
bedroom, though? Most
Yeah.
Yeah.
importantly, do you
Right.
like each
right.
other
And
outside
so
of the
I
That's right.
bedroom?
totally
That's
agree
right.
with Savannah. You know, if you can get to that best friend part first, that's great. But I believe that there still should be a level of friendship that's established
Yeah.
far before anything else, because when you are friends, friends respect friends. Friends is
Yes.
not gonna dog each
Yes.
other out. They're gonna be there. They're gonna, and you, I need to know you have, see, people throw that friendship out there like the kids be like, oh, that's my homeboy, that's my homegirl.
Mm-hmm.
No,
No.
I
If you
take
my homeboy
friendship like I
and
take a marriage. Like I'm
right,
gonna be true to
if
that
you if
friendship.
I'm
Yeah,
with you, I have to know that you got my back. I
right.
need to know that you mean me
Yes.
well. And a lot of times people throw out that friendship thing and they're like, oh, that's my friend, that's my bestie. But that person don't mean you well. So you
That's
gotta
right.
know that that person is the person that means you well. It's awesome again if you can establish that best friend.
Yes.
That is so super cool. But a
Yeah.
lot of people don't get to the best friend part before they get together. So
Yeah.
you just need to learn to
Agree.
be good friends. You
I
need to
agree.
learn
My husband and I,
as a
yeah.
friend.
Yeah. See, my husband and I, we're very, very close. I like him as a person. Love
Right.
is a whole nother story, but I love and in love is two different things.
Hmm.
And
I
I
mean,
think that a lot of
you
people
go
found
through,
out in the
you go
COVID
through,
when they had to be isolated with each other that they really didn't like the person that they was with. If I
right,
gotta be isolated with you for
right,
14 days, I
right,
really need to
right.
like you enough where we can
Yeah,
do something. So again,
yeah,
it's awesome. I commend anybody who can say, because a lot of times men and women, when they are best friends, that is super cool. But if
yep,
you could just, some people don't even get to the best friend stage. They got to get to the best friend. But if I can be your friend and I just
yeah.
like you,
And
I'm
talk
good.
to, and you can talk to each other as a friend. You
Yeah.
can talk to each other as a friend. I wanted to do something. I went to a friend's house over the weekend, and I mean, my kids swim, but I got in the pool and I loved it. And I got this whole thing, this whole stretch. Now you know how I'm gonna put this pool in the yard, and Bob's gonna come home from California. She's gonna get in the pool. Oh, I
Come
just
on
did
now.
it too. And I went to my husband and I said,
Don't mess with my
babe,
head.
this is what I found out about the pool and so forth and so on. He said, okay, okay. And then he came up about 10 minutes later and he said, babe, that whole thing with the pool, you have to be concerned with the septic tank. He brought the wisdom part. My answer to him was, okay, gone. Idea gone. Not a problem
Right.
because you're friends. We
Yeah.
don't have to argue over that. That's not.
Exactly.
I mean, we've never had a pool, so why am I getting upset about now? I want to install a pool. Cool, but we're friends. We
I,
can
I
I
get
know
want. I
along.
want.
final words
That's
for
so
me,
important. Look
babe.
at this. That is so
Final
important.
word. Go
My
ahead.
wife and I, we do marriage counseling, and what I learned during that past coaching was this: there could be no relationship without a connection.
That's right.
So
Mhm.
again,
Yeah.
and if you wonder why there's always argument, why you each other are constantly fighting each other, because you lost the connection, you lost the love. You haven't lost the love.
Right.
You stop liking each other.
Right.
Because
Mhm.
when you like someone, you are willing to sit down, hear them out,
Right.
and go back and forth about the best decision, not the right
Yes.
decision, but made the best
The
decision
best decision. Yes.
for you both to move forward, but based upon what you both want to experience in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Savannah, last words.
You just caught me off guard.
Mm.
Ah, last words. Tune in to Savannah Thursday.
We were gonna get to that, but what's your last words on?
No, enjoy your life to the fullest if you're able to, by yourself with the person that you love, if that's what your current situation is. Um, Life is, I'm not gonna say it's too short, but live it your best. Try not to argue with the people that you love. Enjoy life with them. Enjoy life with yourself.
Yeah.
And now tell us about your show.
Oh yeah. Tune in Thursday at 6:30 p.m. 5:30 Central Time if you're in Texas, my folks in Texas. We will be talking about why women do not initiate sex enough in a relationship.
Mm.
All right.
I'm
So
gonna listen in.
yeah.
What's that topic?
Oh Lord, Dr. B.
What's that topic again?
Why women do not initiate sex enough in the relationship?
Oh, okay.
That
Joy
mean
is
you have
ready
Dr.
for
B
this
on there for some
topic.
real
I
good
love Joy.
a
I know he's
professional
ready.
counselor there.
Dr. B. I scared to invite Dr. B.
You invite me. I'll be there. Because listen, you got to listen. I'm a creative person. That's all I'm saying. I'm very
Dr. Bennett,
creative.
what's your final words?
Live your best life so you can live your best story.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I love it. I love it. My final words is be true to your own self. Have fun. Whether you are in a relationship with your best friend or you with your friends or with your husband, your mate, your partner, by yourself. Live your best life. You only have one life to live. So live it to the fullest. Have fun. Do you. And don't let anybody persuade you to apologize for being you. So you have been watching Breaking the Silence. You have a voice. I am your host, Lady V. You have Dr. Yvonne Bennett, Silvadia, and Reverend J. And at one point we had Dr. Isaac on here. But we want to thank all of our viewers. Thank you for all of your comments. And we come on every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. I'm not gonna name the other times. We're 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time because that's a lot of times. But we are on every Tuesday. At 6 o'clock. And for those who don't know, we're going to start next month. We're going to have backstage with Lady V. So any of our viewers, if you want to be backstage and kind of meet with us, and we're gonna have the realist talk. We're gonna start that next week, and it'll be directly after the show. You'll be our VIP, so get ready because we are excited. But until then, I want to wish everybody a great rest of your evening, and always remember that you have a voice. See you next week. Bye.
Bye
See ya.
everybody.